Can I make a confession, y'all? A few years ago, I booked what I thought was just what I needed for my mental fatigue. I spent money on a perfect getaway. I'm talking about no email, ocean views, sand, sun, the works. If you can think it, I booked it. And for a whole week, I felt absolutely incredible. I slept, I breathed, I read, and I did just what I needed this vacation to do, and I just relaxed. I thought to myself, okay, this is good. I'm back. But then I got home and relaxation, it didn't just fade, it was gone. I mean, it was as if I did not even go away. So if this has happened to you, I want you to know that you are not alone. It happens to the best of us. There's nothing wrong with you, but there is indeed something wrong. So the name for this in organizational psychology is the fade out effect. Researchers found that for high stress professionals, the burnout relief from a vacation completely evaporates within 3 weeks of returning back to work. Sometimes it even happens as quickly as 3 days, which is exactly what had happened to me. Rest is not the same thing as recovery, my friends. Rest is not the same thing as recovery. If you return to the same high pressure environment with the same habits, a week on vacation, it's not going to fix things. So today, I'm going to teach you a 3-step resilience plan. These are the same research-backed tools that I use to help leaders get their spark back. So let's start with step number 1. This is moving from numbing to completing the stress cycle. So here's the mistake that we tend to make. We treat ourselves like cell phones. We think, my battery's low, I'll just recharge. But biologically, you are not a battery, you're a human with a nervous system and a complex nervous system at that. When you have stressful days, like when a board meeting goes south, or maybe a key employee quits, your body floods with cortisol and adrenaline. And these are, you guessed it, stress hormones. Then when your workday ends and you sit still on the couch to maybe watch Netflix, drink a glass of wine, your mind might be distracted, but those stress chemicals are still trapped in your bloodstream. This is why when you lay down for bed, you feel tired but wired and you can't sleep. So research from the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology tells us that in order to process stress, you have to physically move it through your body. So here's a tool to do just that. It's called the transition protocol. So before you settle in for the evening, you need approximately 20 minutes of active recovery. And this doesn't necessarily mean a high intensity workout, although it could if that's your jam. But you need something that's going to signal safety to your body. Remember the cortisol and adrenaline that I talked about a minute ago? They're stress hormones, right? So they aid in your fight and flight response. So when you have a stressful situation, those stress hormones kick in and they want to protect you. But now you're no longer in those situations. So you want to let your body know that you're safe. So some activities that you could utilize to do this could be perhaps a brisk walk around the block. It could be dancing in your kitchen while you listen to music and cook. It could be some deep breathing exercises. And the simplest of all, just smiling and laughing. It signals to your brain that you're safe. You have to show your body physically that the war of the workday is over. If you don't flush those chemicals out, no amount of sleep will make you feel truly rested. So step 2 is where most high achievers really struggle. This is psychological detachment. There is a fascinating study by Dr. Sabine Zonatok. She is basically the godmother of recovery research. And she found that the single biggest predictor of executive well-being is your ability to mentally disconnect when you aren't working. Listen, we all do it. I'm guilty of it myself. Be honest with me. Have you ever been at dinner with your family, but in your head you're mentally rewriting an email or thinking about what you need to do the next day? Your body really does not know the difference between being at work and thinking about work. So if you're constantly thinking about work, your stress response is still on. So how exactly do we stop this? We need a cognitive shutdown ritual. Our brains hold on to unfinished tasks because it's afraid that we'll forget them. This is called the Zeigarnik effect. Have you ever sat down for a meditation or a quiet moment and all of a sudden your entire task list starts bouncing around your mind? To beat it, you have to offload the data. At the end of the workday, before you leave your desk, I want you to take a physical sheet of paper. Write down the 3 things most important that you're either worried about or the things that you definitely need to handle tomorrow. And then, as silly as it may sound, say out loud something like shutdown complete or some indicator that you have officially ended your workday. Listen, I know it might sound simple, and heck, it could most definitely sound silly. But by externalizing the worry onto paper, you're giving your brain permission to stop holding on to it. You are essentially closing those open loops so that you can actually be present with the people that you love after hours. So the final step, step 3, is structural agency. You can meditate and take walks all day long, but if you return to a job where the demands are impossible, you will ultimately burn out again, and we want to prevent that. So there's this concept called job demand resource model. And it basically says burnout happens when the demands of your job exceed your resources. That's your time, your energy, and your emotional bandwidth. As executives, we often feel like we have to fix everything, anything and everything that comes our way. We have to fix the market, the team, the supply chain, all of it we tend to take on. Resilience isn't about enduring more pain. It's about renegotiating your boundaries. So here's the tool. It's called the Sphere of Control Audit. I want you to look at all of your calendar, your entire calendar from last week. I want you to highlight the things that drained you the most and then ask yourself, is this within my control? The economy, not in your control. Let it go. Your boss's difficult mood, not in your control. Let it go. That recurring meeting with no agenda that's on your calendar and you don't even know who scheduled it at this point, decline it. That project that you're micromanaging, delegate it. We have to stop spending our precious energy on things that we cannot change. So we have the power and energy left for the things that we can control. Here's the bottom line. A vacation is a lovely break. I hope you take many of them. But a vacation is not a life strategy. It's for fun. If you want to be a leader who lasts, a leader who is resilient, someone who can drive results without driving yourself into the ground, you need a strategy for daily recovery. Complete the stress cycle with movement. Practice detachment by writing down your worries. Audit your control so you can stop fighting battles that you know that you just cannot win. Listen, I know that this is easier said than done. And if you want to go deeper, I've put together a free 5-day executive energy reset program. This short program is designed to walk you through identifying exactly where your energy leaks are and the actions that you can do immediately. The link is right below this video. And please, take care of yourself. You are worth the investment. I'll see you all next time.